Hey, Dr. Chan. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Okay, so you can listen to me. Yeah? Good. Just wanted to run some testing.
But now we are already on live stream.
I know.
Yeah.
That will
Yeah.
do.
If you and I am now sharing my screen actually.
Good. I
Yeah.
can see it. And you prepared the pool already?
I did.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Maybe I put in the chat box first the pool.
Yeah. And later you remind them.
Yeah.
Or maybe
Yeah.
I remind them. That will do.
Yeah, but it's good that you remind me because I almost I almost cannot remember that something like this. Right.
Okay.
So this is the you can try to click in this link whether or not you can see the pool.
Let me have a try on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got it.
Yes. Okay.
Thank you.
And once yeah, I will need to do. Do you want me to show the result later? Later, right? At the end, right?
Later.
Right.
When the time comes, then I will give you a
Yeah.
signal.
Sure.
Thank you.
I've seen from Facebook. Good morning. We are going to start very soon. So maybe I would like to request Dr. Ng favor while I have already begin my the talk. Maybe whoever enter the room, maybe you can admit them.
Yeah, sure, Dr. Chan, no problem.
Sure, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Okay, welcome everyone to our webinar series in conjunction with Bulan Kelestarian USM 2021. Okay, today we are very honored that we have two guests with us who are both from Tzu Chi Youth Association. Okay, the first speaker, Mr. Tan Chi Kiat, an environmentalist who has long experience in recycling activity. He is one of the silent figure who has involved in the catastrophic disaster, the flood in Kelantan 2014-15, where he joined as a team in Tzu Chi distribution food, house item comforting the victim. He has also been teaching musical instrument, which is one of the complementary talent that he has. With this background of master in solid state physics and pure physics from USM. And our second speaker, he is TRIS International Expert Consultant who lead the organization, Cultural Shift. Looking back to his journey as the degree student, he is one of the most motivational figure that he is very active in volunteerism, but get dean list in every of his semester throughout the study. So after graduated, he has actually served the society as engineer, instructor, lecturer, and most importantly, volunteer for a charity society. And he has been in several places, include Robert Bosch, KDU Penang University College, UniKL, as well as Utah. He also involved in several facilitation sessions and consultation in several industries. So please help me to welcome both Dr. Khoo Lok Kian, Specialist Engineer, Head of Virtual Academics, and also Mr. Tan Chi Kiat. So Dr. Khoo, thanks for joining us. Can you unmute your mic, and also Mr. Tan?
Hey, morning. Thanks for your introductions. I can see that you're getting the picture from the Facebook.
Getting from your Facebook.
It's kind of like a personal touch for me, by the way.
Yeah. So before we start, I think I should just pin both of you.
Yep.
Yeah. So I think Mr. Tan will be starting his presentation first. Mr. Tan.
Shall we get started?
Yeah. Help me.
Hi guys.
Just.
Yeah, morning.
Morning.
Yeah. Now we have Mr. Tan with us. Shall we start?
Oh,
All
yeah.
the applause to you. Yeah.
Hello, fellows and friends. Good morning. I'm happy to having me here to share with you some of my knowledge. I appreciate the time to be here with us. And the ultimate goal for today's session, I hope you can bring back something by end of this session, right? Thanks to USM CGSS for organizing this and giving me this opportunity to share with you whatsoever knowledge I have in about recycling, environmental, all this right. You may have whatsoever reason to be here, whether it's your rector ask you to join here, because of the topics that we are going to discuss today attracted you. No matter how, I hope you gain something by end of this session, right? So I think I will skip this. Dr. Chan has just introduced myself, so I'll skip this. So from this picture, what do you see? Left-hand side is a cleaner environment. Old folks and younger generation play with each other, happily, right? And then I think majority of us will choose to live on the left-hand side environment instead of the right-hand side. I think richer countries may be able to enjoy the cleaner land, whereby the poorer countries like, you know, Zimbabwe, all this, right? They may receive the rubbish from others like US. Yesterday, if you just happen to listen to Light FM, I heard the DJ mention about the rubbish. We Malaysia import the rubbish from US. That is something that I feel miserable, right? We are not supposed to receive the rubbish from other country and jeopardize our lifestyle, right? Imagine the left-hand side picture is in US and the right-hand side is in Malaysia one day. We are living with the rubbish. Can you afford to live in this environment? We no longer enjoy the clean air. Whatever you breathe in is something that odor smell, right? And you have to survive with all the rubbish. So anyhow, if this vicious circle keep on going on, I believe US will also suffer the same thing on the right-hand side picture. The environment will goes to them if they don't change their lifestyle, they don't change their habits, all this, right? I hope this sparkle some of your mind to ponder around, you know, something to think of from now onwards, right? So from this picture, you see, we can recognize this is the Mother Earth that we are living on, right? For me, 40 something years, right? But if you look at other planets, you won't see the blue ocean, you won't see the greenish trees on the land, right? So this is the most suitable planet in the universe, the only planet that you can enjoy the fresh air, the water, clean water, right? I had a conversation with my friend last week, and he asked me a question. Hey, CK, don't you think so that we are only borrowing this land from our children for temporary living? Then I asked him, why you say so? And he replied to me, one day you and me will be away from this land, whether you will be buried under the land or you will be turned to ash if you go for cremation. Indeed, whether we decide to live a beautiful land or the land filled with rubbish, or we suffocated with the odor smell of air that we breathe in, this is the choice that we are going to decide, right? So I would like to everyone here to take a like 10-second think of yourself, something to work to ponder, you know, why environment protection is important. Since from the few pages earlier, we have touched a bit about the earth, right? Ten seconds, just think of it. Why environment protection is important, right? Okay. Yeah, some of you may have the same answer with me, because the earth is the only home that we have. None of the other planet in the universe. So we are supposed to take care of this Mother Earth instead of jeopardizing it. So for the next page, these are very beautiful scenery that we are hoping for, right? Our Earth is so very beautiful for us to live on. You see the mountain, ocean, a beautiful home for us to live on, many kinds of creatures will live in this beautiful land. And I believe from this picture, you see the children smile, right? If they live on the picture that we mentioned on the right hand side earlier, I don't think they will smile like this, right? So think of it, right? So this picture shows us the mother earth is now in a sick condition, right? So why I say so, I'll share with you some of the pictures, some of the video in subsequent pages, right? These are things that happened in the past, and what we are going to take action, what action we are supposed to take from now on to take care of this beautiful land, in order for us to live a beautiful land for our children, our next generation, right? So nowadays we may categorize the disaster in high level, which happened in the past. They were caused by the four major imbalances. They are the land, wind, water, and fire. Land is about the landslide, earthquake. Wind is about the typhoon, the tornadoes. Water is about a tsunami, flood, and the wildfire in the jungle or forest, whatever you name it, right? And this thing, from years to years, decades to decades, it's getting more severe and getting worse from time to time. If you often listen to or watch the news from the broadcast, you will see almost every year the severity is increasing, right? And I believe when the earth is sick, creature living on the land may be impacted as well. Of course, this include ourselves as a human being, not just the creatures, right? And what will happen when disaster strikes us? The crops will destroy as a result of drought or flooding, and it leads to food scarcity and famine. And it is really sad to see people lose their life and their homes and their loved one, right? And victims suffer from the disaster. And then the government also need to expand a lot of things for the relief, right? It will impact the government financial also, right? So these are some of the picture we searched from Wikipedia, right? Some of the major disaster happened in Malaysia. We used to think that Malaysia is kind of disaster-free, major disaster-free country. We do not have earthquake before. We do not have like tsunami, but all these things slowly happen, in our country. Tsunami sometimes 2014, I think is a Christmas Eve time, right? 2014 we have multiple or quite a number of floods in Malaysia, Sabah, East Coast, tornadoes in Kedah, Selangor, Alor. 2015 we have Sabah earthquake. Some of the hiker to Gunung Kinabalu mountain, they were impacted. 18 of them death because of that. East Coast flood in 2015 as well, and 2016 the flood in Penang, Teluk Bahang, that was quite severe. We so happenly and lucky and have opportunity to go for the relief. And we feel grateful for able to help them, right? So when the disaster strike us, another thing is the disease. From this statement, you will see for every 1 degree Celsius increase in the Earth temperature, the number of mosquito increases tenfold. Can you imagine? Tenfold of mosquito around us. And this will impact on the prevalence of dengue fever. More and more disease because of dengue fever. Dengue fever, I heard, is more dangerous than COVID-19 because you have nothing to cure. You don't have vaccine to inject, then you won't get the dengue, right? COVID-19, I believe, I hope, vaccine will cure. But this dengue, whenever the mosquitoes strike you, you have to suffer with the fever. It will happen from time to time, right? And with bacteria breeding more easily, other illnesses and viral infection will also spread easily, right? So some 30 so-called new diseases have emerged over the last 25 to 3 decades. Happened, in the past, and some old diseases that have been under control and now surging. So the next video I'm gonna share with you is something maybe our Mother Earth want to tell us. So take 2 minutes to look at this video.
Some call me nature. Others call me Mother Nature. I've been here for over 4.5 billion years. 22,500 times longer than you. I don't really need people, but people need me. Yes, your future depends on me. When I thrive, you thrive. When I falter, you falter. Or worse. But I've been here for eons. I have fed species greater than you, and I have starved species greater than you. My oceans, my soil, my flowing streams, my forests, they all can take you or leave you. How you choose to live each day, whether you regard or disregard me, doesn't really matter to me. One way or the other, your actions will determine your fate, not mine. I am nature. I will go on. I am prepared to evolve. Are you?
So take a few seconds, something worth to ponder about the sentence. I don't really need people, but people need me, right? Your action will determine your fate in future. That is something that Mother Earth want to convey to us, the message. And some of the picture happen in India. Weather is so hot, its roads are melting. You see from the picture. Can you imagine this happened in Malaysia one day? You can't even walk on the road.
Ready?
This is another picture for you to imagine how hot the weather is. You see, they even can cook an omelette outside the home. This happened in Kuwait, the temperature as hot as 54 degrees. The temperature nowadays is increasing a degree by degree. And this picture shows that the snowfall in Saudi Arabia. Can you imagine? Usually our first impression is that Arab Saudi is a desert, but how come the snowfall in Arab Saudi today? Is it because the camel want to swim? You see, this is very sad. This is very sad, and you see from the picture, the flood is about the camel height, and people are trying to get help from the flood. This happened in Arab Saudi, right? So next, I want to share another picture. This is about the North Pole. Let's take a look. No animation on this picture. Is a real life. The polar bear is in hunger. You don't see any iceberg. They can't get food like seal. All this because of the global warming happened today. Have you ever seen the polar bear in this shape? So thin. So we think that to save the world, we as a human being, we must take or we must engage in environmental protection as part of our lifestyle, to save the planet. Yes, I think we can do it, right? And let's do it, right? And some tips that we can share with you. What can we do in our lifestyle to reduce? If you don't need it, if you really need it, just reduce. But if you don't need it, just rethink whether it's a must for you to have it. Otherwise, you don't buy, right? If you're, I know some things, the grocery or whatsoever household today, we can't avoid those plastic, paper wrapping, boxes, all this, right? But at least what we can do is to reuse it, right? And so we can reduce some of the forest deforestation happen just because of reproducing the new cotton balls, paper, all this, right? And another thing you can help on this planet is to repair, right? If your phone just happen to have something wrong, you can go for repair. Don't throw it away. Or your fan, your car, everything that can be repaired, just go for it, repair it. Don't throw away. Otherwise, it is a burden for our Mother Earth. And actually, the recycle is the last thing that we for the 5R, right? And so yeah. From Tzu standpoint, we have a recycling center. If you want to join us, it's most welcome, right? And you after this session, you may approach us if you want to learn about more about the 5R, right? So from this picture, you see it's a set view that we see all the seal is tangled with the plastic, is polluted by the fish net. The birds inside the bird's stomach is filled with all those plastic items. And the swan eating the plastic, they won't know whether this is the food for them or this is the plastic. All this created by human, right? And the turtle, they can't breathe because the plastic cover up their face or their mouth. And the seal entangled with the fish net, right? So our small effort actually in our daily life, our habits will have a big impact actually. Otherwise, we won't see all these pictures happen to the creatures. So let's not underestimate the small positive from every one of us. Take the action today. Take your recycle bag whenever you go to supermarket or whatsoever, right? And here are some of the things that you may think of. How many points do I score or do you score, right? Do you bring reusable bags when you go for shopping? Brings your own food container for takeaway instead of having the plastic bag to wrap the foods. Bring your own drinking bottle. Take away bubble tea. Drink with your own tumbler. If I know now it's a kind of so-called prevalence for people like the bubble tea. If it is better that if you bring your own tumbler to fill with bubble tea, right? This is one of the small action that you can take. Not using one-time deal chopstick. Bring your own chopstick whenever you go for char kway teow or mee or noodle, whatsoever noodle, right? Use handkerchief instead of tissue paper. Aircon set 25 degree or above. You know, at home I actually tune my aircon at 26 or 27. Now even in the room I'm here now is at 27 and I feel cold. You see with my jacket, right? And water bill, if you can reduce to 5 ringgit or set to 5 ringgit at minimum, right? Recycle at home. Use cup when brushing teeth, right? Instead of Open up the water tap, right? Let it flow freely. You can use the cup to fill with the water, right? At least one veggie meal per week, or already a vegan, you are 2 points, right? Practice recycling more frequently. So you may take a few seconds. How many points that you get? Each of these question is 1 point. You don't have to tell me, but the target is about 8 point plus, right? So be green, act now, and what can I do or can you do so that we can helping this Mother Earth going for a sick condition, so we can maintain the temperature as of now. Don't going too high, otherwise the iceberg in North Pole or South Pole will be melted because of the temperature increase. So these are some of the things that you may do in your lifestyle. Stop using single-use plastic. Purchase what is needed. Stop plastic usage. Bring reusable bag. Reduce online purchases. I know this is kind of hard, right? With Taobao, Lazada, Shopee, all this, but try to control yourself and reduce as much as possible. Buy local fruits, because local fruits you don't have to import with the freezer, all this, with the aeroplane or all kind of transport that need to maintain the freshness, right? So these are the things that we can do. Buying local fruit is one of them, right? As I mentioned earlier, bring your own tumbler, take away boxes, your own utensils, straw, save the water, take stairs. If you happen to live not so high in a condo, you can take a stair instead of lift, right? Use LED light to save the electricity. Stop using tissue paper. Stop printing purchases receipt. If you don't need receipt for claim or tax exemption or whatsoever, don't print it. Just save the paper, right? Reduce food wasting. You need to eat how much, you take how much, right? Don't take over from what you need, right? And carpooling, of course, is one of them, right? And try to carpool whenever is possible. Take the public transport, take a walk, instead of always take the vehicle, right? So any other green lifestyle tips that we mentioned earlier? Here are some of the tips. To me, is the major one. Why go vegetarian is important, right? Eating a veggie, eating a veggie food, you can have more choices actually. These are some of the choices that you can choose. Vegetarian diet does not include meat or poultry, fish or seafood. All these things are not non-vegetarian. Just a definition for you, what are the vegetarian food you can choose to eat. So why go vegetarian? Actually, you can see from the points here. Eating a veggie diet means 2.5 times less carbon emission than a meat diet. A chicken breast takes over 542 liters. You imagine 542 bottles of mineral water in order for you to take a chicken breast. I mean, for the process, for the whole process that it costs for you to take the chicken breast from the farming until the chicken breast delivered to you. These are very long process, and from the calculation that all those scientists calculated, this take about your bathtub 6.5 times. You know, so by eating vegetarian food for a year, you could actually save the same amount of emission as taking a small family car off the road for 6 months, right? So in a way, we not realizing slowly we are eating the entire earth because of our taste, right? We like to eat fishes, we like to eat the steak, all those wild animals, chicken, all this. Actually, all these things, because it becomes industrialized, because of the demand keep on increasing from day to day. The fried chicken, KFC, McDonald's, all this, right? More people demand on it, so it becomes no longer a kampung kind of feeding. Is industrialized for business purpose. So the next picture I'm going to share with you is the deforestation. You imagine every second 1 or 2 acres of rainforest being cleared today. 1.5 acre of land produces 170 kilogram of meat or 16,000 kilogram of plant-based food, right? All this plant-based food is for them to feed the animal, you know, because of the poultry or those farming needs for the livestock, right? The next video it explains the deforestation relate to the livestock.
And in South America tonight, an environmental problem of a much greater magnitude. The destruction of the Amazon rainforest. A worldwide disaster.
In the 1980s, the world learned that the Amazon was endangered.
Trees are falling at a startling rate. 77,000 square miles of
an area twice the size of Belgium.
The size of New York State, the size of California disappears.
And why it was so important to save it.
1/5
the oxygen we breathe. 20% of
the world's fresh water.
half of the species of life on Earth is in these forests.
It's an ecosystem the entire world needs for its survival.
By the 1990s, it seemed like it was too late.
The destruction accelerates.
More than twice as fast as previously believed.
Virtually impossible to control.
Once it is gone forever.
Then something changed.
The annual destruction rate of the Amazon rainforest has dropped
By 70%, the lowest rate of deforestation since records began.
Amazon could achieve the end of deforestation. Huge accomplishment.
But in order to keep it safe, there was one condition.
Protecting the forest is a continual process. Brazil will need to stay vigilant.
But it didn't.
The Amazon is burning, consumed by fire.
Fires raging.
Thousands of fires are blazing. More and more trees are cut down.
Deforestation of the Amazon rainforest is its highest rate in a decade.
Today, the Amazon is being destroyed all over it. The question is, can it be saved this time? The first wave of deforestation started in the 1970s. That's when Brazil's military regime saw the potential for profit deep in the Amazon. There were about 5 million square kilometers of rainforest filled with natural resources.
Amazonia's ores and minerals, food, fiber, and forest resources are vast.
But most of it was inaccessible. So the government started building the Trans-Amazonian Highway, an ambitious project that would run for 3,200 kilometers connecting remote parts of the rainforest. At the time, most of Brazil's population lived in the southeast, in cities like Rio de Janeiro and Sao Paulo. And the government wanted to move people out here to cultivate the land and grow the economy. So they offered free land along the highway and paid Brazilians to settle deeper in the rainforest. And they sparked a land rush. As the roads advanced, settlers followed, rapidly clearing the forest around it. Most of them turned their land into pasture, where they raised cows to sell as beef. And when these ranchers needed more land, they seized another plot, cleared it, and moved their cattle in. This expansion deeper into the Amazon drove up deforestation. Between 1978 and 88, an average of over 20,000 square kilometers were cut down each year. Over time, this whole area became known as the art of deforestation, and soon a different product pushed this even further. People around the world were eating more meat, decade after decade. That trend raised the need for more soybeans, which served as a high-protein feed for farmed animals. This created a huge opportunity for countries most suitable for growing soybeans, and Brazil cashed in. Soybean exports from Brazil shot up in the mid-90s, boosting the economy. By the early 2000s, farmers took over these pastures and turned them into massive soy farms, like this one in Acre State.
A minha fazenda eu comprei ela em 2000, porque eu queria partir para fazer agricultura. Da soja é muito rentável, a soja é um dos produtos que dá no campo que dá mais dinheiro.
And the ranchers who sold their pastures moved their cattle further into the rainforest, clearing more of the Amazon, often illegally. This aggressive expansion created a profitable pattern in the Amazon.
A gente primeiro vê o boi desmatando, né? Depois vem a agricultura e atrás disso aí vem a indústria. Eu acredito que o começo do desenvolvimento é por aí.
But it came at the cost of the rainforest. By the early 2000s, Brazil's beef and soy industries were driving a booming economy, as well as unprecedented rates of deforestation, which caused this arc to expand further north. The staggering deforestation in the Amazon attracted fierce resistance from environmental groups.
An area of ancient forest the size of a football field is destroyed every 2 seconds.
The Brazilian government, under President Lula da Silva, finally stepped in.
Já em 2003, percebemos que esse tipo de situação não se combate apenas com ações emergenciais.
This is Marina Silva. She was Brazil's environment minister in 2003, where she helped craft a plan to stop deforestation.
Então, nós resolvemos atacar as causas.
It started with the government expanding the amount of rainforest under protection. At the time, only about 28% was protected, and there was very little oversight. But this new plan added more reserves where business activities were strictly banned, and also created more sustainable use reserves, where some businesses, like Brazilian nut harvesting and rubber tapping, which didn't destroy the rainforest, were allowed. More land was also demarcated for indigenous people who preserved the forest. Over time, hundreds of new protected lands were added, transforming the Amazon into a shared and sustainable space.
Com base nesse uso, nesse manejo sustentável, começou-se a pensar uma ideia de preservação, de conservação dos recursos naturais que fosse capaz de integrar numa mesma equação economia e ecologia.
Eventually, almost half the Amazon would be put under some form of protection, while the rest of it remained a mix of pasture, farms, and rainforest. To prevent further deforestation here, the government strengthened the Forest Code, which said landowners could only clear 20% of their private land. This law was monitored by the Forest Service, which was part of the Environmental Ministry, which had jurisdiction over all these protected lands. And the key to enforcing this entire plan was strengthening IBAMA, a police agency that would track and fine people for illegal deforestation.
Na agenda de combate a práticas ilegais, foi um trabalho feito em parceria, fazendo um processo de investigação, utilizando a inteligência, para incidir sobre os crimes ambientais e as organizações criminosas.
And the plan showed results, with deforestation rates falling by more than half in 2006. At the same time, an activist movement was forcing the agricultural industry to make a change. Major food companies started feeling pressure from consumers for participating in deforestation. So several got together and in 2006 signed a soy moratorium, which meant they could continue to operate within existing farms, but they wouldn't buy soy from any newly deforested land in the Amazon. 3 years later, beef companies signed a similar agreement. Other countries also gave Brazil money to help it protect the Amazon. So under all this protection, deforestation rates plummeted to historic lows. And yet Brazil's soy and beef industries continued to grow thanks to more efficient techniques. Ranchers started growing crops on their existing pastures, and farmers planted 2 crops a year on their land instead of 1. Brazil had found a way to make the Amazon both productive and protected, but there were some who still wanted it to be a more profitable place. The Ruralistas, a group of conservative politicians who represent the interests of the agricultural industry, including farmers and ranchers, started gaining influence in Brazil. In the early 2000s, they had about 17% of the seats in Congress, but by 2012, they had about 30%, enough power to push President Dilma Rousseff to weaken the Forest Code, which allowed landowners to get away with clearing more land. In 2016, they pushed President Michel Temer to slash Obama's budget. They also helped him pass a law that made it easier for people who illegally seized land in the Amazon to keep it. These changes emboldened some people to seize and clear the rainforest again. And that led to a rise in deforestation rates. In 2018, as the Ruralistas controlled 44% of Congress, Jair Bolsonaro, a right-wing congressman and ally to the Ruralistas, was elected president.
O homem do campo não pode continuar sendo penalizado. O agronegócio é uma das poucas coisas que está funcionando em nossa economia.
On his second day in office, he transferred the Forest Service, which monitors the Forest Code, to the Agricultural Ministry, led by a Ruralista. He's also worked to systematically weaken the Environmental Ministry. Under Bolsonaro, deforestation has increased significantly in 2019. Most of
Okay, I think end the video because it might take another 1 minute, right? So in view of short of time, we'll go further, right? As mentioned in the video, because of the pasture, we are raising ducks, chicken, all those livestock to feed our human being demands. Then deforestation happened, right? So these are some of the figures that you can see. Because of the beef that we need, 1 kilo beef, it consumes so much of resources in order to produce it, right? So every second, so many animals being killed every day. The livestock being killed, and every year, this I don't know how to read the figure anymore, right? This is data in 2019. Global vegetarian talents that you may not or you may already know of. Carl Lewis, as of now, record holder, 10 gold medal. Nobody beat him. Nobody beat him for the records, right? Wang Lihong is the singer. Mike Tyson also a vegetarian now, because I think majority of us, including myself, the driving force is to protect the environment, to slow down the global warming, right? These are some of the great people that taking a vegetarian. Obama is one of them recently, after he knows about the goods of being vegetarian for the environment, right? And pandemic is one of them. that because of the livestock, so because people eat wildlife, right, and have this pandemic coming in, right. So our master is non-stop calling for everybody to practice vegetarian. If you can't be a full-time vegetarian, try to cut down the meat, right? So the demand will be going down, right? So it's our choice whether we want to save our Mother Earth with the plate of our food, being a vegetarian or meat eater, right? So I think this is the last slide. If you wish, the world will change because of you by changing your habit or your eating style, you know. And by here I end my session. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Tan Chi Kiat. As you can see from Mr. Tan, Mr. Tan, can you unshare your screen so that I can let the speaker to load their content? So as you can learn from Mr. Tan, global warming, water shortage, air pollutions, all those loss of diversity, and some of these current environmental problems, and all these problems are actually rooted in human actions. Okay, and despite of the real threat that Mr. Tan has actually shown in his slide, many people still hesitate to act. But why? Why are we hesitate to act? Where is the lack of motivation? Is it because when you are trying to take the actions, it leads you to be unhappy, or whether is that any other cause that actually doesn't push you? So let me welcome Dr. Koo from Vitrox Academies to share with us his insights about pro-environmental behavior.
Hello, thanks Dr. Chan for the introductions, and also thanks for Mr. Tan. Okay, because of like he's doing a lot on the environments, and then when you ask him to say it out, right, he throws lots of data, and from those data that we are like getting some insight of like what suppose that we have to do next in that sense. And for this slide here, I would say that for my parts here, okay, I would like to ask to urge you guys to join me. Of course, that will be at the end of the whole thing here. But before that, I will let you guys know why we have to join as volunteers, and why volunteerism here, and why it will be going to us in that sense. Why me? And initially for this picture that I'm putting here is I'm putting the picture of my whole family. Okay, so I can see that my whole family, like almost like 70% of my family are joining as a volunteer for this moment, and I feel grateful on that. But when I show my presentation slide to them, they tell me that it's kind of like shy for them to put the picture here, so I take it out and I put myself here in a sense. Okay, and but before I start my presentations, or I would say my sharing here, can I just have a quick survey of like how many of the audience here are students or the student of USM or student from the other university? Can you please perhaps raise a hand in your chat box? Then I can see that. You guys know how to do that, right? I hope so. Just have a quick guess for the number here. I can see that there are almost like 99 people here, or almost like 100 people here. Yeah, thanks for replying me on that. Yeah, so you guys are still there. Come on, let's do it. Okay, so okay, so let me start with the presentation in the sense of like going to myself first, to let you guys know who am I here. So yeah, this is a simple slide that I'm trying to show you guys about who am I here. I can see that almost like from what I can see on the chat box here, not much people are really responding to me, like how many of you guys are from student, but then I can still see some lah. So I guess almost like 50%, so or just a rough guess on that lah. So let me go back to here. So a bit about myself here lah. About me, then this is my picture of my small family here. So I myself with my wife and my daughter, and then so what I'm doing like at the free times and with my spare time, or we say me time, like I'm doing some podcasts. Okay, I record my voice and then I put it inside the Anchor, then the Spotify and with the chat box here. And then sometimes I read some books, but most of the time I'm listening to the podcast. So Fanten is one of the sources that I'm doing a lot of that. And then I also write some blogs. So if you guys are having times or maybe like spare times, you guys can just go and visit to my blogs and take a look on that. And then of course, okay, some of my spare time I'm doing on the Chiji as well. As you guys know that this is a collaborations activities with the USM together with the Chiji. So I'm one of the volunteer, okay, commissioners for the Chiji lah, okay. And then of course my hobby here is photographer lah. I take a lot of photo and I like photography because of like, I think that's because of like I'm having chances to expose to the arts. I like to draw a lot of things. Okay, but I myself is not from art stream. I myself from science stream, so don't get me wrong on that. So where have I been? Now you guys can take a look on this. You guys can see my slide, right? Am I right, Dr. Chan? I have to verify about that first.
Yes, we can.
Okay, so let me continue. So where have I been? Of course, USM. Okay, we are all from the same primary here. Okay, so I finished my undergrad at 2009, and I joined in at 2005, and at the time I also joined Chiji lah. So after this, then I start to work as the engineer outside of some of the company as I am, but this is the main one that I would say that I joined the KDU as a lecturer. Wait, I have to finish the whole thing here. Forgot about that. So at the undergrad, I'm studying as the mechanical engineering. And then after that, I continue for my postgrad study. I directly jump from the master and go into the PhD study. So that was at 2010. Okay, so I finished my PhD study at 2013. Okay, with the USM in the mechanical engineering as well. And then and then I come back here for the KDU here. So I join in while I'm writing out my thesis. So when I finish my thesis, then I have my title of the doctor. Then I joined another university here for the another I would say career pathway here. So the University of Kuala Lumpur, and at the same time, I'm having chances to expose to the crash ultrasonic. You guys can see my cursor, right? So for this crash ultrasonic here, I'm having chances to be like becoming one of the consultant with them for the innovations and also for the R&D side. So from that, I'm acquired my title of the IR. Then after that, I joined into the Utah and together with the Retrox. So currently I'm with the Retrox Academy with the Utah and also with the Retrox. So I'm the specialist engineer for the Retrox, and I'm also the academic head for the Retrox Academy. And at the same time, I'm also the assistant professor for the Utah. Okay, so this is some of the credentials that you guys can see about me here. And then I would like to show you guys, some things that others that don't really know. Okay, so I would say that although in my study times in the USM, I'm spending a lot of time on doing the Chiji volunteerism kind of activities, right? But still, I'm still having chances of like achieving some of the quite okay result, okay, because of maybe I'm lucky or maybe because of the support of my friends. Okay, so I get my scholarship from Bosch for my undergrad, and I continue for my postgrad with the Vice Chancellor Award. And I guess you guys know who is he here, okay, our Tansari, the Dr. Zulkifli. And then I published several papers and then also some book chapter. Okay, and the last one here, that would be the purpose of life. We say that what is the purpose of life? Okay, that I'm trying to do here is like I put it in a one sentence form, but then it might appear to be quite an awkward sentence for you guys. But don't worry, I will explain to you guys later on whatever that I'm trying to depict today for you guys. So the altruism's learning for more people. Okay, this is the picture that was taken together with my student. Okay, in Utah. Okay, so that will be the I will say that I've always wanted to mingle with the young people, and then I can see that they are energetic, and sometimes I can feel some kind heart within them. So I want to trying to trigger and also to stimulate those kind heart to help more people in that sense. Okay, so those are some about me. Okay, if any question, just put inside the okay the chat box here to ask if wanted to. Okay, so let me continue. This is my monopoly here. So the monopoly means that whatever that I'm trying to do for this moment of life lah. Okay, so I would say that I'm doing more on the educations. I would say inculcate the lifelong learning. Okay, I want everybody to be having chances to keep on learning. I don't care whether you're from the whatever background I would say. Okay, maybe like from industrial, maybe you are from the management kind of people, or maybe you're from like some poor family. But we want everybody to keep on learning, because of that is one of the good way for us to getting ourselves out from the, I would say, the comfort zone that we are having for this moment. The comfort zone might be good or might be bad. It depends on the situation that you are facing now. Okay, and then the second one here that will be on the cultural side of the activities I'm trying to do. Of course, I would like to advocate for the conscious businesses, and so I'm having chances on learning on the altruisms and volunteerisms and also the mindfulness. And I also having chances on doing a lot of the innovations here. I hope that I can keep on doing that. So trees, mechanical design, and those kind of things. Also, at the end, you guys can see that they are all like crossing each and other at the middle here as the advocates of the compassionate innovations. Okay, it might appear to be like, how to say that? I would say it would appear to be a bit like contradicted, okay, because of like compassionate and innovation, they are always never linked. Okay, why I say that? Because of innovation always happens aggressively or intensively when at the wartime, okay, especially at the World War II and World War I, that kind of times. So you guys will see a lot of innovation from that, okay, because of like the governments have to, I mean, the country churns out a lot of money to make sure that they have those kind of things done. But then I myself thinking like we should do it in the sense of like innovation for compassionate, okay, to help more people, to help the sustainables of the future, like what the USM slogan that always depicted, right, for the sustainable tomorrow, if not mistaken, that will be something like that. I think you guys know about that lah. Okay, for those that students and maybe the lecturer from USM, you guys know what I'm saying here. So if you don't know, also can ask in the chat box. I will answer you guys later on. Okay. So after this, yeah, I put in this picture because of like it's almost like the second years when I joined Tzu Chi in the USM time lah. Okay, so you can see I'm still young. And I can see that almost all the friends here are coming from USM, by the way, even my senior here. Okay, she's also one of the senior from USM, because we are working together in the northern regions, and then at that moment the most active groups are from USM. And I can see that while I'm doing my study, right, for my undergrads, even my postgrad, almost like I'm contributing more than 70% of my time on doing the Tzu Chi volunteerism. You guys might feel weird. How come this guy keep on doing activities? And even my friend, okay, when last time when they see me, oh, how come you keep on doing the activities with the Tzu Chi and you don't need to concentrate on your study? And I think not. I would say that I kind of like gain my true happiness at that moment. Okay, the true happiness, the kind of feeling, because of when I'm doing Tzu Chi, right? Tzu Chi is an non-NGO, okay, an NGO that's helping the people, especially the needies, right? I gain the true happiness. And because of the true happiness, then I gain some self-confidence, and then I can have some self-esteem on doing my educations, you know. So in fact, I would say that although with the 30% of the time for me to do the study, right, with the 30% of the time, right, at that moment, but I still can score okay lah, okay, together with some of the people that is willing to help me, because they can see that this guy is funny and keep on doing the Tzu Chi thing, but then they know that Tzu Chi is doing something good for the society, so they willingly to help me in that sense. So yeah, I can score okay lah. Okay, so every semester I got dean list, and then at the end I still can get the Vice Chancellor Award. So I feel good on that also, by the way. Because of that, then I'm having chances to contribute more of my times on the volunteerism lah. Okay, at that moment. So I would say that when I was young, right, in the USM time, that is the most some of the most happiest moment that I can have at that moment. Okay, so let me continue. So thanks you guys here, by the way, because of like I was asking Dr. Chan to help me to post the chat, or I will say the questions to you guys lah. Okay, how to achieve true happiness in our life lah. So go back here lah. So why we are looking for the topics of why volunteerism? Of course, okay, the volunteerism is a pathway for us to achieve the true happiness. But beside of the volunteerism, there are still lots of the contributors, or I will say the attributors that we can seize in our life that can help us to achieve true happiness. So I just ask these questions here, okay? But I won't say the others are all wrong or whatever, but I would just say that I myself is like cling, or I'm like more to the directions of the altruisms in actions kind of thing, okay? Because of like with the compassionate hearts, then we are having chances on learning more from the others. Okay, you guys will see how I say that later on. So of course, then we need money to survive. Of course, we need some life achievements, but also we need some career achievement in that sense. They are all like the time for us to contribute to the society. I wouldn't say no on that. Okay, they are all must be there in a sense. But how are we going to juggle with the times then? And also, how are we going to juggle with the portion of it that will be the thing that we have to taking care of later on. So let's see. Okay, so go back here. I myself think that volunteerism is one of the best pathway that we can travel to achieve the happiness. Okay, I'm thinking of that. So why I say that, let's see, take a look on this guy here. This particular guy here is a Viktor Frankl. Okay, so he always say that we can always choose, okay, what we want in our life. Okay, so it can be like, okay, wait, let me tell you guys about who is this guy here. Okay, sorry, and let me go back to this guy a bit. This Viktor Frankl. In fact, I think I should pronounce his name to be Viktor Frankl because he's a Russian. Okay, is with us. I would say it's one of the famous psychologists that was captured by the Soviet Union last times, and he survived, okay, from the Soviet Union torment. Okay, normally when they put them inside the concentration camp, they are having chances to be killed. Okay, but then for this guy, he survived, and he said that we are having our freedom to choose. Okay, so I myself choose to be gaining some of my times to be doing on the volunteerism in that sense. So I found that from doing that, I'm having chances to achieve some true happiness. But true happiness, they are having lots of different attribution at the behind, as I mentioned. I will show you guys, okay, later on. So from here, that I think that everyone here, okay, no matter you are currently happy with your own achievement, or maybe you are happy with your own life for this moment, or maybe you feel that a bit suffer here, but still we are having chances to tune and get ourselves out of our comfort zone for this moment, everyone here. Okay, just depends on your mind. Okay, whether you want to change now or you want to change it later. Okay, if you change now, that will be the best. It means that at least my presentation here or my sharing here is really trigger you something. I will feel happy on that. If let's say that's the situation here. Okay, so let's see. So how am I segregate my time? Okay, I will say for this moment, of course, I always put it into 4 portions. I always put my time into 4 portions. It might not be same with others people here, but I just put myself here, okay, for you guys to see how I segregate my time. So first thing first is family. Okay, I always spare my time for my family. Okay, of course, my parents, my siblings, my small family, we are all stick together because of like they are the one that always supporting us. Okay, and also I also contribute my times for the works, of course. Okay, without that, then I don't think we are having chances to contribute back our energies or our ideas to the societies. And then the third one here is on the volunteers. Okay, volunteers is a bit different compared to work, so you guys have to bear in mind on that. Okay, volunteer is whereby you contribute your strength, your abilities to the society without claiming any cents or no money. Okay, no monetary rewards on that. Okay, you are doing it just on your wills. Okay, okay, bear in mind on that. So of course, I still wanted to do that. As I mentioned, I believe this is one of the key pathway that I can travel to achieve the true happiness. So do you guys here. Okay, if you guys think that the environmental situation that we see just now are all quite severe, right? Why don't you join us, okay, in the recycle activities later on? I will give you a QR code to, okay, to follow our Facebook page later. So please prepare for your handphone later. Then, of course, we also need some me time. The me time that we are talking about here is that maybe we have to use some time for us to go for some personal growth, to study some books, to relax, to do some meditations, and those kind of things. Okay, so those are how I segregate my time, and I found that they are workable for me for this moment. Okay, although to be frank, I can tell you guys that the volunteer times that I'm having for this moment is not so intensive. Okay, the percentage is not so high, but I still think that I need to work as a volunteers. Okay, because of like the seed is always there, and the seed is always there to remind us that we are having chances to become a better person. Okay, so let me continue. So, what are the 7 benefits that I wanted to tell you guys here? Okay, go back here. The thing here is very simple. Okay, to achieve true happiness by volunteerism, right? So what are the 7 benefits from the volunteerism? Can those 7 benefits become like the contributor to the true happiness in our life here? Yeah, look at this picture here. You see, this is a road, right? So this is particular guy here. Maybe that's me. No lah. Okay, walking, trying to search for the happiness. Maybe somewhere here in the heaven. Okay, so I searched for this picture by putting road to heaven now. Okay, so I found it in this way from Google. Okay, so yeah, it look quite I would say right to the topic, so I throw it here. So what are the 7 benefits on working as a volunteer is for working as a volunteer? Okay, so take a look on that. Okay, so the first one here, volunteering always connect us, okay, with the others. Okay, volunteering here is a connections, okay, a real connections that is always having amongst. Maybe for this case, you can see my friends here. A lot of my friends are all here, and this particular guys, I think he's in the Zoom today lah, Ming Sing. Okay, we're all working together. And this picture I took myself lah. Okay, I'm a photographer. So I also feel that it's a chance for us to connect to the needy. Okay, this one here was taken like while we are having chances to visit to the Teluk Bahang after the flood. Okay, after the flood, then we visit to the Teluk Bahang, which is one of the poorest area in Penang Islands. So we visit them to lay a hand to help them and to really make them or us together to go through the hardness that they are facing at that moment. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so we connect with the others. I remember. Second one here is like volunteerism. Hey, how come? It should be going for this slide first. Sorry, so I go back here. Okay, after this connects you with others, then it should go for this slide here. Okay, the circle of love. Okay, bear with me and follow me with the slide here. Okay, so the circle of love that we are believing in as a Qi members, right, is like a 爱的圆圈. Okay, it's within the needies, the friend with the same ideas to help others peoples and me lah. Okay, so by having chances on working together with the others, in fact, I feel that we can feel the warmest heart with the others, and we can lay the sincere kind of feeling with the others. Okay, and in fact, it's kind of like helping me as well, okay, because of sometimes when we are facing some hardship in our life, right? When we go to lay our times to spend our time with the volunteerism, then I think that it's a pause, okay? It's a pause in our life to charge ourselves, okay? It's like you plug in the charger, okay, to the USB port, and you charge your phone. You charge back your energy, so you gain something in that sense, okay? Not helping others only, but in fact, most of the time you are helping yourself in that sense, okay? Not to say that they're helping you in the sense of like to gain more happiness in a sense, but then they are helping us to train our mental as well, okay? Because of like we can always see that when we are doing or when we are laying our hands to help others people, we are like transforming suffering into a blessing. Okay, we are trying to help more people in that sense. In Mandarin, we call that 艰苦致富. Okay, you're having chances to look at those needy, and so we're having chances to gain more in that sense. Okay, so go back to this guy here. And the second benefit, okay, the second benefit that you guys will gain through the volunteerism here, that will be on that you're having chances to build the self-confidence and also the self-esteem. Okay. Like what I'm doing here, okay, like what I'm doing here to share whatever that I feel or I gain from volunteerism, I just share to you guys here. In fact, it's kind of like a platform for me to build my confidence also, because to speak in front of the public, especially currently, I think there are like almost like, let me see how many people, almost like 99 or 98 people here. So it's not easy, but I think it's kind of a positive point that we can gain by doing the volunteerism. I do some sharing, okay, about my photography. I do some sharing about my my career with the people that I love, because we believe that we love everybody, okay, and then we also having chances to involve in some plays. You guys can see that I'm like acting as one of the people that is kena hentam, okay, or I would say like being like going through some mishap in our life. So this particular guy here helped me out in a sense in some of the big play. This one here is like almost like 20K people joining in at that moment. And this is my first time to be standing in front of the 20K people to play as a tiny characters inside there. Yeah, not bad though. Okay, I like that though. Okay, I always cling myself to that kind of feeling, to think that wanted to help more people because of we are having some chances to build ourselves as well. Okay, so the third one, okay, the third benefit of like volunteerism here is quite straightforward. You guys can see, right? Okay, by this picture here, I just purposely go and find some children that maybe some kids that laughing like this and put it here. Okay, in our life, right, we are always having chances on facing a lots of like challenges, a lots of like incident that is coming out to us that is unplanned, and maybe some mishap that I mentioned just now. But when you are having the volunteerism, right, when you are volunteering your time, in fact, it kind of like releasing our, it can help us to reduce our stress, the depressions, and also the anxiety that we are having, okay, in the inner self. So at that moment, you feel that we are doing something without any monetary rewards, but we are all doing it happily. Okay, wait, maybe I ask you guys, have you guys ever having chances to come across to the some volunteers, in the sense of maybe you look it inside the movie, or maybe you look it inside the picture, or maybe you having chances to join some volunteering activities and look at the faces of the volunteers, right? You can see that in fact most of them, they are quite happy with the broad smile. They smile like this. Why? Because of like, this is the time for them to really extract themselves from the mundane life, So when they extract from the mundane life that they're having, then they are doing something better, good for the others people, for the environment, for the society. Then they feel, in fact, we are contributing certain value to the world. So I feel, and at that moment, the particular guy might feel, this is what we call so pure kind of happiness that we have. So look at the people here. Look at these particular kids here. I hope that if let's say when we are having chances to join any volunteers activities, right, any volunteering activities, right, we try to enjoy ourselves in that. Okay, enjoy the moment with the others people, to help them with your sincerely heart. Okay, so that will definitely change ourselves, transforms ourselves in that sense. Okay, so of course this is essential for the mental health. Definitely, obviously. Okay, so by having this, then the particular guys or maybe the volunteers are not having, the chances of getting depressions are getting lower. Okay, this is according to some study that we can have from the Carnegie Mellon University. Okay, they're talking about physicals and also mental health here. Okay, so obviously, whenever you volunteer your times, right? Okay, it's important for your physical health. Okay, by having a good, healthy lifestyle, then you are in fact having chances to attain the true happiness as well. Okay, so when you are doing the volunteering jobs, right, sometimes we have to do some muscular job. Okay, we have to help to move the sock mattress in the flood kampong, right? Because I was having chances to help in the also what we call that the Kampong Melayu in the Penang Island there, because of like the flood, right? So when I go there to help, right, we walk, okay, physically, okay, all of us we have to carry the mattress. The mattress is already soaked in the flood situations for almost like 7 days, So when we carry it, like one normal mattress that is almost like maybe 30 kilos, but with the soak kind of, with the water inside, right? Okay, with the water inside the mattress, then the whole thing becomes like almost like 80 to 100 kilos. So wow, at that moment, right, all the young men, right, we all go and carry the mattress. We need 7 to 8 people to carry it, okay, because of it's at the very big area and very heavy. But after we carry it, right, we can even smell the very stink smell from that mattress, it's like rotten smell because of like they already soaked there for several days. But you can imagine, right, after we carry out from the house, from the Kampong Road, right, they're having a lots of the what we call the mugs, right? We carry it out outside and then we put it on the lorry. The whole process that we feel happy, okay, and in fact we train our physical muscle as well, So of course we go back to this kind of thing here. By doing that, we're having chances to train ourselves, and also it's kind of like, I would say it's a precious moment of having chances to help others people at that moment. Okay, so yeah, let's see what are the statistics that you guys can see here. I know that you guys are all from university, right? So I show you guys a bit of the data here. Okay, so at the year in the year of like 1999, right? They are having some study in, if not mistaken, is from Oxford University. So they found that some high volunteers, right, that is helping more than 2 organizations, they're having chances of like 63% of the lower mortality rate compared to those non-volunteer. Okay, don't play 63% of, which is quite a lot, more than half. And then at the recent research with the one that conducted by the Carnegie Mellon University, they found that the adult that is over 50 who volunteer regularly, they most likely to be having like a sorry, less likely to develop high blood pressure, okay, compared to those non-volunteers. Okay, so those are some data that you guys can see that. In fact, you guys can find journal and then can search for that, and those are all the data that you guys can see. Okay, so yeah, definitely this is also one of the attributions to the true happiness. If let's say you're having chances to gain a healthy lifestyle, to gain a healthy body, then the time for you to enjoy whatever that you're doing now will be higher. So yeah, okay. Doing volunteerism in this way is also helps. Okay, so let me continue. Okay, volunteering is important for a sense of purpose. Okay, I believe that I can see that most of the youngsters here in the university, right, we already having chances to think of what are the career pathway that we wanted to go, or I would say that you guys have started to think what are the purpose of life that you guys wanted to gain in that sense. So I myself here, I just wanted to depict what I'm trying to do here. Okay, I'm trying to make it in autism in actions for the learning. Okay, so according to this particular guy here, okay, Matthew Ricard, okay, I think I pronounce it in this way. It seems to be correct. Okay, Ricard or Richard. Okay, is a French writer. Okay, he said that autism is a power of compassion to change ourselves and the world. Okay, always remember that when you're doing some volunteering job, right, you are here to gain some sense of purpose as well, while we are doing it. Okay, so why we have to contribute our times on these kind of activities, although we know that it will appear to be no money, appear to be nothing, okay, but then no monetary rewards are okay, but what drive you to join for those activities? That is the key point that you have to think. Okay, please take some time to think about that. Okay, you guys are all here. We think why we have to join some volunteers. Okay, like maybe like what our Chikit mentioned just now. Okay, he's here to help the Mother Earth, to make sure that the Mother Earth is still in the good shape. Okay, when our next generations is like inherited. Okay, so we don't want to be like maybe having to be like, the global warming effect that we mentioned just now. They are all very obvious. We don't want to be like happen so fast, thereby it's become like not suitable for our next generation to habitat on it. Okay, so that is also one of the sense of purpose for Chikit. Okay, and I really urge that everyone here, if when you wanted to join some volunteering jobs, you think about that. What makes you there? Okay, you don't just directly go and join or whatever. Maybe you go and join, and because of you wanted to make some friends, that is okay too. That is okay too. Not to say no on that. That kind of purpose is also quite genuine and also quite authentic. You want to know some friends, then only you start to learn what you want to do next in that sense. Makes sense. Okay, so just join in, and then to maybe in the pathway when you go through it, right, you having some milestone to think what is your purpose of life here. Okay, so go back to myself, always going for the altruism actions. In Mandarin, we call that 利他. If let's say you are the Mandarin learner, that you understand what is that? 利他主义, okay. So we always hope that whatever that we do can help others people. Okay, when I translate it in the layman term for you guys here. Okay, so the sense of purpose are the one that making us to gain the true happiness also. Okay, if you are living, okay, in a situation that you do not know what you want to do next, you lost, we are lost, we are maybe like lost in our life, we are like the rat race, right? We are running over there, right? So that is also considered to be like kind of like not to say bad, but then it's the time for you to think more. Okay, we have to really running outside from the rat race. in that sense. Okay, so we go for the next one. Okay, autism in action. Okay, this is the picture. Okay, from the box of this particular guy here, Matthew Ricard. Okay, so I also having chances to walk inside the Toropahangs to help them to do the medical checkup at that moment. So I take some photo and I put it inside my Facebook. I always put inside my Facebook because of like, it's like an album, okay, for me to record my life. And I feel happy on that, okay, when I'm doing that. Okay, so let me continue. So yeah, the number 6 here, volunteering helps you for God, okay, or it kind of like solving your own problem in that sense. I would say that I put in the word gratitude here, okay, gratitude, okay. In Mandarin we call 感恩, no? So what does mean by the by putting this face here? The thing is very straightforward lah. Okay, let me show you guys. In Tzu Chi, right? Whenever we are having chances to visit to the needy, right? We always call them what, you know? We always call them as the care recipient. Okay, why care recipient? They are the 感恩户, you know, means that they are in fact they are the teacher or the mentor to teach us how to appreciate what we already have, to embrace what we already have with us. Okay, so this picture here, you can see that the face of this needy are so happy. Okay, in fact, the expression from them are the greatest gift that we can acquire while we are working as the volunteers at that moment. Okay, so let me continue. And the last benefit, okay, the last benefit, and I would say is quite the relevance for the university student here, especially while we are like having our chances to study, but sometimes we also lacking of the chances to expose to the society. By doing volunteering, then you're having chances to expose yourself to the real world and to the society. So you can learn a lot of the skill, okay? According to this Tan Sri Andreasen here, okay, he mentioned about this ESG, okay, ecological, social, and good governance. This is one of the key criteria that most of the company are looking on that for this moment. Okay, whenever you are having chances to interview with them, they want you to be like not only taking care of yourself, but then you must be like having some mindsets of like you wanted to contribute to more, okay, to the others in a sense. So other than that, in fact, when you're having the chances to join in as a volunteer, we are also like having chances to train our critical skill, okay, so like communication skill, like the time management skill, and those are all the skill that we can acquire along the way. Okay, so it's quite important for the career. Even the communication skill that I'm having here for this moment, I can keep on speaking like this, but I can see that my time is almost there, so I have to be faster. Okay, so let me continue for the last few slides. So at the end of the whole thing here, of course, we are not the lone ranger, okay, in the society to help others people. We hope that we all work together, okay. 众志成城 in Mandarin we call that, okay. So I put in the word Mandarin, the Mandarin word here, 众, with all the human here. With the 3 human here, then we stack together, then we can build more and contribute more to the society. So I really urge you guys to take your camera here, okay, or maybe your handphone here, to record down this QR code, to snap a picture on it, or maybe you print screen on it or whatever. Okay, you take or maybe you scan the QR code here and join us to help more, okay, to learn more and to gain your true happiness. Okay, so I think that should be almost to the end of my slide here. Yeah, thanks, terima kasih, and 感恩. So I just go back to this slide here for you guys to really take the QR code on. I hope so. So please join us to really help the world, the people with you, okay, and to gain a better future. Thank you very much. I go back to Dr. Chan.
Thank you, Dr. Ko. So the volunteerism works that you have been working on, what are the aspects that actually are covered. For example, you know, I think I should let the audience knows why you are talking here, as we as we have Dr. Koo and also Mr. Tan actually from the Charity Association, which we are currently in collaboration with CGSS, which is our Center of Global Sustainable Studies, collaboration in promoting recycling activities. Okay, and for this QR code that I think Dr. Koo has shared here, perhaps they cover a wider activities which apart from the collaboration that we are currently working on. Perhaps you can elaborate a little bit more on those activities that you are covering.
Okay, thanks for the questions. Yeah, you seriously have to answer this, I think. So for the 慈济, right, in fact, we are having 4 pillars of the activities that we are doing now, okay? And we are having also 8 footprint on that. So what are the 4 pillars that I'm trying to say here? Let me think about that. I have to translate it from Mandarin to English.
Yeah.
So the 4 pillars here that will be on 慈善, okay, charity. Okay, so of course, when we are helping the needies and also okay, I would say the needies are the main one, of course, the people, right? So they are like the charity works that we are doing, okay, 慈善. And then the second one here that will be like 慈善医疗, okay, 医疗 that will be on medical, okay, medical here that you guys can see in Penang Islands here that will be on the kidney dialysis center, okay. We are doing a lots of the because we know that without a good medicals, then the needy, the poor people, right? They are always, I would say, like look inside the cycles, or they can't really get off from the cycles in that sense. So with the medical, then we are really helping them so to really get out from the cycles. So by having this dialysis center, then we can help a lot of people free, you know, by the way, for those people that they really need to have their dialysis on their kidney dialysis. 就像医疗教育, okay, 教育 is on the educations. Educations here that will be like including whatever that we are doing here for this moment, okay. To share to share whatever that we know, especially the good kind of like the seed to the others people. So yeah, educations, and also like what the 慈济 youth colleges, right? They are the young people, the young and the energetic people that can help us to shape the world, okay? Like you guys all here are the one that I would say the owner for the next generations. You guys will be the owner for that. So you guys will help us more in the sense. 就是医疗教育人文 and the last one, okay, 教育 okay, for the educations, right, is also including the young kindergartens that we are having in Penang Islands here, okay. So the kindergartens that we are having is like nearby to the McAllister Road there, and also those that we are having at the, we call that Sungai Dua here, okay. So they are the one that is doing on the educations, 人文, and the last one is on culture, okay. We have to make sure that the people are having a good culture. So we are having you guys know the Jingsi Cafe here in Penang Island here at the Bishop Street there. So those are some of the hardware that you guys can see. Inside there, you guys will see a lot of software kind of the, I would say, contributors, or also like the books, okay, like the books, like the we always wanted to urge those people that is working around there to join in to the Jingsi Cafe there, to sit down, to relax, to kind of doing something that is mindfulness for their life, to meditate and those kind of things over there. Okay, so those are some of the activities that we are doing here, and also the 8 footprint. Okay, we have 4 pillars and we're having 8 footprint here. And one of the 8 footprint that will be like on the whatever the ticket is mentioned just now. Okay, so recycle. Okay, 环保. Okay, recycle is one of the main one. So the others I don't want to say because too much already. Okay, maybe we have to go back to the topics that we are talking today, okay, with the USM, environmental productions and me, right? So yeah, recycle activities is one of the key one. Although we know that recycle is already to the last stage, or I would say the last gate that we can do, but still we hope that more people are doing it together. Okay, when you do it, in fact, you also learn. Okay, you learn how to appreciate whatever that we have. Okay, to be more humble in that sense also. Okay, so those are some of the answer. Hopefully it answer you lah, Dr. Chan. I go back to you.
Thanks. Thanks for your presentation about this volunteerism and how it connects really to you. And but question is, there is always a degree of how much you can actually involve, like what you have said with the Venn diagram that you have shown. You spend with your family, but you spend volunteerism, and then you have your work and you have your me time. Which is the borderline, okay, that you are, you know, perhaps it's very hard to explain, which is the borderline that you are experiencing that, you know, oh, this is the time that I slightly exceed that, you know, or is there any occasion that you having these experiences of, I should step a little bit back, or 1 foot step back, those kind of thing? Because there is always, you know, when people call for volunteerism, it is always good. I mean, who didn't know that volunteer is good, right? Everyone knows. But why we hesitate? We always think there is other priorities that is coming ahead, or things like that. What is the fine line? Of course, from example for you, I believe every individual will be different. But yeah, we would like to learn from you.
Wow, don't say the word. We would like to learn from you. It kind of like very heavy, you know, in a sense. But I just share. I just share whatever that I think. Whatever that I think to how to answer your question just now. Okay, about the baseline or the fine line that we can have on the 4 segregation of time that I mentioned just now.
Sure,
For I myself here, right, I always put it in a sense of like priority lah. Okay, importance, and urgence, and priority, those kind of things. We always have to arrange them, like what the Stephen Covey do lah. I think you know that, right? Okay, the Stephen Covey, they put it in the, what we call that, a jar. Okay, a jar. All right. So they put in the the big stone first, right? Those are the priority that we think we need it every time. Like what I think, what I need it any time or every time is my family, my volunteering time, my works, and also some me time. So I put in the big stone first. Then from that on, then started I throw in some sand, okay, to get the whole thing full, right? Yeah, same thing here. I would say that it cannot be like so clear cut sometimes, okay. But for I myself, is like I always bear in mind that I am a human that is having the 4% of the time. So how can I going to do more or achieve more by using those 4% of my time, just like that? I hope that answer you. I hope so lah.
It's a very abstract way, but it's fine.
Yeah, a bit of like yeah. or maybe I put it like this. Okay, in a week times, right, 7 days, I make it more quantitative for you. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, more quantitative lah. I always have my time, okay, my family time at every day. So, and sometimes at the night time I have my time for volunteers, and sometimes at the weekend I have my time for the volunteers, and of course, at the weekend I have my me time. This one must have one. Okay, I always put at least 2 hours slot at the weekends. Okay, to let me really calm myself and stay still to think what I do for the whole weeks, kind of thing. And works, don't say lah, works from every day, 9 to 5. Of course, we are doing it already, ma. Am I right, Dr. Chan? So yeah, those are very obvious. So I make it more quantitative lah. This is how I make it my time lah. Okay.
Yeah. So to the audience, do you have any question to our speaker here, or any the audience from the Facebook as well? Can you please post your question to the chat box so that our admin can actually post your question here? So before I waiting for any question from the audience, again, from me, you know, I have a lot of questions. You know, you said you are scoring okay.
Okay. Just okay, by the way.
Okay,
Chikit is no longer there, right?
yeah, he is
Oh,
running to another meeting, so I will
yeah.
just focus at all questions to you. So
You. Okay,
on
never
his
mind.
you
Yeah.
answer on his behalf as well. Yeah.
Mm.
So you said you are not scoring okay, but actually you are scoring excellent. You know, by having a vice chancellor award, I am sure you are scoring excellent, not okay. So but that I still is even though I'm a lecturer, is still kind of hard for me to comprehend how this can be done, unless we are really, I don't know. And I think it's good to let our students here knows that you were saying your volunteerism works has actually helped
Comprising.
in one way or another academically.
Mm.
Right? It's not like you are doing the volunteerism work entirely separate from academic, and yet your academic can be still excellent.
So, so you want to know?
So but that doesn't seem to be a formula.
Mm.
You get what I am trying to say?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can people say, you know, this is just your luck, or is that a formula to it?
Yeah.
No, I just would like to have some, you
Some
know,
answer for that, right?
yeah, your comment. It's like try to throw things and brainstorm you. I don't know whether this is a formula.
Well, okay. Thanks, Dr. Chan, for these brainstorming kind of questions. Okay. So I make it like this. Okay, for I myself here, as I mentioned, right, I am using almost 70% of my time on doing volunteerism while I'm having my undergrad and also my postgrad, right? I work hard on that. And in fact, when I'm doing that, I know that my time is no longer sufficient for me to really concentrate on the educations. I know already. How can it be, right? No chance. Then what can I do is like I myself, right? I can give it a tips of study. I'm not sure whether it's still applicable for this generation. So I'm a bit old already, by the way. Okay. So at my generations of time, I always study before I go for the lecturer. I have a glance on the notes. I kind of like understand 30-40% of what they are trying to mention later on. So when I go inside the lecture hall, I will keep on asking questions like what Dr. Chan is trying to ask me now.
Yeah, I didn't prepare you for your question.
So I ask a lot of questions and I learn more at that moment.
I see.
So after that, to be frank, after I finish my lecture, right, I don't have time on study already. So I put it aside. So sorry for my lecturer if you're there. I put it aside, but because of like people can see me, right? This particular guy is a bit funny, yeah. It's a bit crazy, right? They can say you're crazy. Keep on doing this kind of like volunteerism kind of activities, right? But in fact, they know that you're doing something good for the people and also for the world. So they are willingly to help you, know. When they see that this guy is doing a lot of different kind of things, but they really need to help you. And some of the good person in my class, they keep on helping me. I can even mention their name here if let's say they are there, I'm not sure. Like Eksun, my friend, my best friend, he keep on helping me in my study. So I'm having chances, especially at the study week. I always sit down together, we study. Of course, I still have to study, or else how can I going to score okay, right?
Excellent.
So yeah, because of that, then I can score okay, I would say so. So that is what we call the cause and effect. Okay, the cause and effect on what you do, and the people see and they think, oh, this guy is okay, is good, so I want to help him. So I gain more, I'm not gaining less, but in fact, the more you do, the more you gain. I can tell it in this way. Okay.
Yeah.
So thank you, Dr. Chan, for this formula kind of question.
And maybe if there's no question, and I think the audience like my question to you, so I will keep on asking. So you know what? Maybe I don't want to ask so much as well. Maybe one last one maybe will help our student. You know, in the recent year, we have encountered quite a few of cases where they call themselves mental problems student, right? Right? Okay. You know, when you are trying, when you are speaking half through, something actually hit me. I was asking, is that true? Maybe volunteerism is one of the, way out. Along the way, in the middle of the time that they feel depressed or stressed.
Yep.
But one thing is, they are being asked to scan a QR code, for example, and that QR code, can I be like, suddenly I feel stressed and then I scan now, I want to go now. Is there any remedy on that directions? Like, I'm not registered yet, but I can be joining. And I, people dare not want to commit, they don't like commitment. Okay, of course I know commitment is good. So is there any possibility they can do some kind of random volunteer?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Okay. We don't make, okay, we make it very simple. Okay. We open the door for you. Okay. We all the doors. It can be an automatic door. When you walk by, it will open. But whether you want to walk inside or not, that is your own choice, As I mentioned with the Viktor Frankl, you always have your own choice. The door is already open, but you want to walk in or not, still on you. So, yeah, we want people to join in, but we won't make everybody like, you have to commit. You don't need to commit at the first, okay? You just join in and understand what is this organization is, or maybe others NGO that you feel suit to yourself. Okay, it not necessarily have to be in Tzu Chi, but there will be a lots of other options. But you just walk inside and to know about that and see whether it suit to you. Yeah, when you think that it suit to you, then only you commit. But I still have to see. I still have to say that we have to commit lah. Why have to commit? Because when you commit, then only you are able to learn more along the way about how the organization here works and how can you to contribute more to your maximums of the energy to the organization and so to the society in a sense, So yeah, commitment must be still there. And the next question that you asked while you started this question here is about the depression kind of thing, right? Yeah, I would say that I see some cases in Tzu Chi here, okay, that whereby they are having some mental health situations, okay, and we know that the mental health situation is keep on rolling up for this moment, and because of like our society imbalances and all those kind of thing. So the story behind, I think most of us know so I don't want to tell. But seriously, when they go inside to join us as some of the volunteering activities, like even they sit down there just to do some recycle work, they tear the paper, they tear. And then they take out the white part of it and take out the non-white part of it, and then they separate them. And while they are doing this kind of like, I would say, repeatable job, right? They do right. When they do it right, they think that, hey, in fact, our life are not necessarily have to be just like that. Sometimes they have some trigger point there, so they can get themselves out of the depressions. Sometimes this is for the soul only one people over there. Some of the soul people there, few people there. But the main point is some of the people, when they're having the people to people connections, right? They can find a van, okay, a van to really release their stress, okay, to release their tensions. And those people there, they are all, I would say, considered quite kind heart, because we are all thinking of the same directions to do good deeds to the world, right? So they are able to be like, to receiving whatever that you say in a sense, whether it's good, bad, it becomes a van for you to release your stress. So yeah, definitely it helps. Okay, we don't say only in Tzu Chi, but others organizations also do the same. Yeah. So I hope that it answer you again. Okay.
We have question, okay, who PM me.
Okay.
How to implant volunteering as a bridge to job markets?
Wow, implant.
Yeah. I guess.
Good.
Yeah, especially to student. The question was. So and that actually I think I don't know the level of question, how to implant volunteering as a bridge to job market. Another one was actually interrelated to the question is, what is the motivation on cultivating the culture of volunteerism in USM? What's the motivation? I guess it is similar to implant. I don't know. You can take both.
Okay. I mean, I think that the questions coming from this student here on the implant, right? He or she must be from medical school. so kind of implant, okay. I will say that it planted lah, okay, planted to ourselves lah, okay. So let me think about that. How should I answer about this question? It's not so easy. Give me a second. Give me a second to think about that.
Is it related to motivation?
Okay, I think it's related to the big environment, not only for the motivations. Okay, we can see that our society now, right, is changing. Okay, and a lot of us are kind of like started to forgot about what we studied previously, the moral. You guys know moral, right? I think we all know moral. We study moral, okay, like it or not. Okay. So, but we started to forgot how to implant it to our life. I use the word implant, to use it, okay, to really practice it in our life, But by having this kind of volunteerism here, we're having chances to really practice it out. And the more you practice, the more you gain the chance to internalize it to you yourself. And so, yeah, that will become a motivations why the USM are doing that here. And in fact, why some of the big company, even my company here, Vitrox, is also, I would say that always asking our staff here to be compassionate. Now, don't play. They are using the term compassionate. Why? We want our technologies that is coming from Vitrox here is not only a cold type of technology, but we want it to be having some temperature. Okay, we call that 有温度的科技. Okay, the technology that is warm in that sense. Okay, so that is the motivation behind, because we can see that we need that now. Okay, we need that now. Okay, so we should do it together. Okay, so I hope that answers you also.
Yeah, correct. I think that is how things move on. That's why USM has taken a step ahead from as to
good job.
collaborate, create the environment, because it seems to people or to human in general, we need to do it in order to be planted. Right?
Yep.
I don't know. I'm taking the same vocab from the student. So yeah. So I think we shouldn't drag more time. Or any take home message that you want to tell or say to our student and audience.
Okay. So just a few sentences. Okay, at the end of the whole thing here. Join now lah. Okay, don't wait. Join now and enjoy it while we are doing it. I don't care what kind of organization that you join, but make sure they are all positive one. Okay, okay. Join now and enjoy it. Okay, you will gain more on that. Thank you for that.
I will give in to one question that suddenly pop up. Will nowadays employer take volunteer into consideration when we apply for jobs?
Answer is yes. Okay, as what you can see on the Tan Sri and Andrew Singh mentioned just now, we are looking for the ESG. The answer definitely is yes. Thanks for that, Tang.
Yeah, thanks for that, Tang. The answer is yes, and as you know, USM is currently embarking a recycling activity. Please join us for the volunteer activities that you will see a lot of recycling activity around the university when you come back to USM. So thank you, everyone.
Thanks for your time.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you for that.